Hi there, my name is Amelia Larcher, and today I will be presenting on mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. Mindfulness, according to our text, is the awareness that emerges through having attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally, to the unfolding of experience moment by moment. So, the background and history of MBCT, mindfulness-based cognitive therapy. So, MBCT was founded by Zindel Segal, a psychologist, Mark Williams, a psychologist, and John Teasdale, a research scientist. Together, they developed MBCT in the 90s as a part of the third generation or third wave of behavior therapy, which focused formerly off-limit topics like mindfulness, acceptance, spirituality, and meditation. The theory behind MBCT integrates principles from cognitive therapy and mindfulness practices and brings them together. It is based on the understanding that negative thought patterns and cognitive distortions contribute to the onset and reoccurrence of some mental health disorders. Moving on to our tenets. So it is easier and more affordable to learn meditation in a group. So each week for 8 weeks, a group of 5 to 25 people will meet for 2 hours with 1 to 2 facilitators, depending. Each week, time is spent learning and practicing a meditation technique, assuring that everyone understands the technique and how mindfulness can be applied to everyday situations. MBCT also teaches cognitive strategies that support mood changes and difficult emotions. MBCT is especially fond of homework. So 30 to 45 minutes a day, 6 days a week, clients are asked to practice the mindful exercises that they learn in group at home on their own. And I will add that individuals struggling with anxiety and depression or stress can expect to feel much better at the end of an 8-week MBCT course. Studies have shown that individuals are less reactive, overwhelmed, and have a greater sense of self-compassion after the completion of an 8-week course of this therapy. So, how will MBCT help? It will help a client gain an understanding of what depression is. Secondly, it will help a client discover what specific things produce down moods or depressive spirals for them specifically. It also helps individuals discover what is making them feel stuck in that negative mood or spiral that they have been experiencing. So, lastly, MBCT can help make connections. And it's going to draw connections between these three following points that I will soon share and the downward spirals and the depressive moods that we've been talking about. So we have the highly oppressive standards and feelings of not being good enough, the self-applied pressure that results in misery and overwork, and the ways we lose touch with what makes life worthwhile and worth living. When we help clients make these connections to their depressive moods or spirals, it can really help their understanding and their motivation and their coping mechanisms towards more positive mental health. So let's talk evidence. Research shows that cognitive therapy successfully reduces chances of relapse and recurrence in major depression. MBCT increases metacognitive awareness, specifically in respect to negative thoughts and feelings. This next thing's very important. Shifting the relationship, so the relationship, not the belief, That's the key component here. Shifting the relationship to these thoughts and feelings can significantly reduce depressive relapse and recurrence. Metacognition refers to the way negative thoughts and feelings can be viewed as passing events within the mind. So, passing events within our consciousness, not necessarily as valid or true statements that are reflections of reality. So, this is a huge tenet, a big point of MBCT, that we take those negative and depressive thoughts and feelings and we let them pass. We accept them. We don't attach to them or create stories around them. Moving on to the nature of counseling relationships. So, the client therapist relationship is characterized by a strong emphasis on collaboration, where the therapist acts as a guide, teaching mindfulness practices and supporting the client in cultivating self-awareness. While maintaining a supportive and non-judgmental presence, this allows the client to explore their thoughts and emotions in an environment of acceptance, which allows them to have acceptance for themselves. Essentially, the therapist is actively present and attuned to the client's experience of the here and now to foster a deep therapeutic alliance. The therapeutic alliance is very important here. Moving on. Who is MBCT most effective for? After researchers reviewed over 200 mindfulness studies, they found that MBCT is most effective for individuals looking to reduce stress, anxiety, or depression. So every single American and most of everyone ever. Psychological. Oh, so this is a tidbit that I thought could be helpful for us trainees, students. That I found a study for. Psychological and neuropsychological evidence supports the positive impact of mindfulness on self-efficacy, specifically within the counseling profession, according to one study. So, just so you know, mindfulness is a huge tool when talking about self-efficacy for counselors. Here, last but not least, we have the process and goals for MBCT. So, mindfulness meditation practices include body scans, sitting meditation, and mindful movement to develop a present moment focus and enhance awareness of internal experiences. Next, we have cognitive behavioral techniques. So here we want to incorporate these elements to help individuals identify and understand the relationship between their thoughts, feelings, and behaviors, which will foster a more objective perspective on negative thought patterns, which can be really helpful for people struggling with stress, depression, or anxiety. Next, we have group discussions and exercises. Through collaborative discussions and experiential exercises, participants share experiences and support each other in applying mindfulness skills to daily life challenges. So it's really important here that they have each other basically, and that they have accountability. It's really helpful when we're talking about making changes. The primary goals in MBCT are to prevent depressive relapse. By developing mindfulness skills, individuals learn to detect early warning signs of depression and implement strategies to prevent a full-blown relapse. Next, we have enhanced emotional regulation. MBCT aims to improve individuals' ability to manage and respond to emotional experiences with greater equanimity and less reactivity. We want to reduce rumination. By fostering a mindful awareness of thought processes, MBCT helps individuals break the cycle of repetitive negative thinking that often contributes to depression or plays a role in depression. Promote self-compassion. Encouraging a non-judgmental and accepting attitude towards oneself, MBCT cultivates self-compassion, which has been linked to improved mental health outcomes. In summary, MBCT combines mindfulness practices and cognitive therapy techniques to equip individuals with skills to manage their mental health proactively, which is huge and wonderful and super helpful, thereby reducing the likelihood of depressive relapse and enhancing overall well-being. And here are my resources. Excuse me. I just want to say thank you so much for listening to my presentation on mindfulness-based therapy. I found it really interesting and applicable and very much aligns with my current values. So thank you and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.